Okay, so really pleased to move on to our next section, where I'm going to actually talk to you about some of the things that we've been working on in the last year. Now, it's been an absolutely phenomenal year for us as a digital tourism think tank. We have been developing a whole program of content, of insights, and of design-led thinking in what destinations should be thinking about doing and focusing on in their daily activities. So today I'm going to show you some of the things that we've been working on. And it's a really proud moment, not for me, but for my team, because my team have been so hard at work. I have to say, working around the clock throughout the last 5 years, but in particular the last year, to just get us to the point where we felt that everything we do connects with everything else that we do. And so I'm going to run you through the key pillars of what we're doing now. And I hope that you will find everything quite interesting and exciting. So first of all, we have been doing a lot of questioning and taking a lot of time to understand what destination transformation really means. We started focusing on this topic last year at the Innovation Campus in Barcelona, where we had a huge new focus on destination transformation. We recognized that this was one of the most important topics pressing destinations today. We've seen a huge shift towards digital and towards the impact that digital is having. And that has changed every single aspect of how organizations work today. The need to have more agile teams that can work in flatter structures, supporting each other, bringing creativity right into the core of what they do is one of the biggest challenges the destinations are working to overcome. Focusing on digital performance and being able to measure the results of what they do and being able to demonstrate and get buy-in from their stakeholders in what they do is another aspect that's really key. And one of the starting points for this was actually a piece of work that we are very proud to say we worked closely with European Cities Marketing on. And you can see it here, the Destination Transformation Report, which I can also tell you will be published next week. And it's a big achievement. We have surveyed half of the European Cities Marketing members. So we have 48 cities who have contributed to this pretty extensive survey. We covered all the aspects from how destinations are working, from funding, governance, through to engagement and innovation. And we've been asking them questions about how they approach these different pillars of transformation, how they engage and work with each other, what are the questions that they are asking within their organizations, and what is the priority that they're setting for the future. And we had a really interesting set of very conclusive results, focusing on their budgets, focusing on human resources, focusing on the key priorities in terms of their needs for transformation. Also looking at how they are going through that process of becoming more creative, building a network of creators as well. How they are focusing on trends and actually being ready to embrace the next trend. Looking at advertising and measurement. We all know, we've been discussing it for the last few years, that we've come to a point where we accept that you kind of have to pay to play. So this is one of the big focuses of the survey. Also data and measurement, and ultimately how they bring you to that final ROI, where they can really go back to their industry and say, this is what we do for you. We make a big difference. We have an impact. And we bring people here, we bring the right people here, and they spend money. So this is a really fantastic piece of work. I'm really proud that ECM have supported us with that. And we will continue sharing insights from that at the next European Cities Marketing meeting in Gdansk. So I'm really pleased that this collaboration continues. Well, since that, we have been continuing to ask questions, reaching out wide and far to the industry. And ahead of DTT Global, you may have seen on your Instagram and Twitter streams lots of our content. We've also been sourcing lots of insights. Don't worry, you're not meant to be able to perhaps read everything there. We will share that with you in the coming months. We've gathered more than 100 different takes on what transformation means to destinations. And we had an amazing array of contributions from all over the world, with destinations just summing up in one single sentence what transformation means to them. And it's fascinating to see all those insights coming together. And this is what's leading us to the next stage in what we're doing. So in 2017, we are really hard at work already on a new book, which is about transforming destinations, which comprises three key things: destination perspective, some really good core primary research from some of the future activities that we're bringing into that, and leader perspective. And what we're hoping to do is slice and dice everything about transformation, what this means to you, and how to tackle it, how to overcome some of those challenges. So that's something that I know the team is already hard at work with, and we will be launching that before the summer. So that's something really exciting to look out for. But we're also going further in understanding what is actually happening within the destination. Because I think the one thing that we have understood is that there are a lot more questions to ask. I was recently speaking at Google's Travel Executive Forum in Dublin, and I was speaking about some of the challenges that we see with destinations. Amongst what was pretty much a full room of some of the biggest guys in travel. You've got the Booking.coms, the Emirates, and all these guys who are obviously huge global players. Also talking about what transformation meant for their businesses. And what was really interesting is to see that actually, whether you're a multi-million-dollar business or a small DMO with 50 people, the challenges are the same. And everybody is working to overcome these challenges in the same way. It's incremental, it's step by step. It's not a sweeping change where you take out the old and replace it with the new. And some of the challenges to bring those kind of creative skill sets in-house is felt across the board. It's not exclusive to destinations. So you should all feel reassured that you're not alone in this struggle. So to develop this understanding further, we are now developing 3 new benchmark reports for 2017, focusing on content, focusing on social, and focusing on strategy. These will be led by surveys that we're going out to all the destinations around the world, and we're asking for contributions. We're asking for your content, your social, and your strategy leaders to give us 15 minutes to give really concrete input across those 3 different strands, and we'll be producing 3 different benchmark reports to get really into the detail on those 3 different topics. And that's not something we're doing just for next year. That's something we will continue so we can benchmark how this place evolves over the coming years. So it's something really exciting to look out for, and I hope we can count on all of you to contribute to that. And also to get the word out to destinations who aren't here, to also get them to contribute to that. And the benefit, of course, is understanding how your work compares to the work of others. Also, we now have a much clearer picture on what transformation means. And for us, that has meant a 360 turn on transformation from what we started doing 5 years ago, and we're now entering our 6th year as a digital tourism think tank, where we've now built up a very, very clear structure. So you're all here today, and that's fantastic to see really a representation from the entire world with us in the room. Our flagship events, DTT Global, set that trend vision for the future. They allow destinations to show some of those fantastic examples of the work they're doing and really give inspiration to everybody in the room. We also have the Content Campus now. We launched that only this year, and it was a huge success in the Faroe Islands. And it was also how we got to know Levi, who I heard some great feedback about yesterday, about some of the work they've been doing. The Content Campus is the flip side to DTT Global. It allows you to get really in-depth and start understanding and working with those topics hands-on in a really exciting way. We've been working for several years now on the Launchpad, and the Launchpad has really evolved continuously. And just over 6 weeks ago, we relaunched the entire trends section, which I can assure you was no small piece of work, to really, really focus on all the trends that we've been hearing today and pulling out best practices from across all the destinations. And that's something we keep adding to. It's an ongoing piece of work. So people often ask, when is the next update? But it's something we constantly update. We iterate all the time. And we've got lots of other exciting things, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And of course, our experts have been key to that. We are still a small and very nimble team, but we're very fortunate to have a fantastic team of experts. A few of them who are with us today and have been contributing on Twitter, and we're going to show you maybe some of their ideas later on. So I want to get started with a recap for those of you who didn't make it to the Faroe Islands, just to have a look at what the first edition of the Content Campus looked like.
So we hack out of a city, we do strange things, we experiment, we involve our citizens also in that whole process.
We wanted to inspire them with secrets in every region. So we're still talking about secrets, but we have a new character to tell the secrets.
What I would like us to do is that all destinations from now on starts considering ourselves as distributed media companies.
But what's more important is not to look at the channel, but actually look at what interests are driving content engagement. And if you want to see a full recap of the event, you can actually look at the hashtag still, and you can also go to the Tumblr feed that we set up for that, which is digitaltourismthinktank.tumblr.com. So it's well worth a look. You'll find lots of great content there. Now here you can see lots of recap videos from our workshops. I know we've got a few of the big Estonian delegation here today. I think 10 Estonians with us, so very welcome guys. Where are you? Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. 10 people, it's a pretty good team. And we actually invited Shadi and Katrina to run a workshop. I hope you don't mind if I show a clip of the video. Do I have your permission for that? Yeah? We're good? Okay. So we asked them to run a workshop on Snapchat for destinations, because part of the Content Campus is also having destinations sharing their insights and helping lead other destinations to learn as well. So I'm going to show you a quick clip of the interview that we held with them. And this gives you a little bit of an idea, more at the detailed level, of how some of the workshops played out.
We made a live destination workshop for Snapchat, and we had teams of 2 people, so they had to make stories together and find their unique angle, what they're gonna talk about, how they approach the destination in their own way.
The idea of the workshop was to show what kind of medium Snapchat is, and to give kind of a try, because from our experience, as we have built it up as a takeover, it is really good to understand it, how it works. So we did it like this, that people were working in pairs. They had to have a theme, build a storyline, and then we had different people and locations that we went to that they could use like as a canvas to build up their story, to show the location and their opinion about it.
I believe they understood that this is the fun channel that's really authentic, because everywhere else you have to Photoshop and just to make it look good, but there you just really don't have to think about it, because it's going to disappear in 24 hours. So you can just go with the flow, and once you're like doing it, then you really want to get really excited. It was really fun to see how the people were on the streets, and they were really into it until the very end, like making snaps and creating stories.
So really, as you can see, really hands-on, really interactive, and we've got a whole collection of videos. They're all actually available online now, where we show you really what happened within those workshops. This year is going further, more workshops, more content, and Emil, who spoke yesterday, isn't here in the room today, is he? No, I think maybe, yeah, he is, okay. Here you go, there's Emil wearing VR, I think that's the Samsung gear, the HTC Hive actually. And Emil and his team have been working really closely with us to help organize this year's Content Campus. We're really proud that we're working together with wonderful Copenhagen and Visit Denmark. And I had a chat with the Visit Denmark team as well, who are looking also to do a round table the day before, where they get contributions from destinations. So it's happening on the 30th and 31st of March 2017. I hope we'll see all of you in Copenhagen. It's a little bit easier to get to than the Faroe Islands, so hopefully that won't get in the way then. And I'm going to run through a little bit of what we're going to cover during the Content Campus. So we're doing it in a beautiful theater, which Emil has found for us on one of our visits. It's a place called the Bremen Theater, and it's a beautiful setting where you'll really be able to immerse yourself in the content. And what we're actually doing this year is we're really focusing on a kind of show and tell approach. We're starting to understand storytelling, looking really in depth at how brands are telling their stories through content. We have, for example, Greenland talking about their new Pioneer series. We have Park Expeditions talking about some of the storytelling they've been doing around their products. Then we get into the immersive content, looking at virtual reality. It's such a big topic. How to actually tackle that, how to design your story in VR. And we have some great examples being shared there. We also have the CEO of Visualize, who's done some of the biggest VR work that you might have seen, such as the Rio favelas behind the scenes for the Olympics, which was a really great piece. So they've been working on that. And then we have a really exciting part in the middle called the interval, which is where we're actually breaking people up to go and have different experiences during an extended lunch. They can either head into the theater and watch a program of content where we will interview lots of content creators and brands and show their content. So you can really see it, experience it, and understand the thinking behind it. But we'll also have an interactive zone in the club, which is part of the theater, where we have different partners bringing kits for people to try on, so they can try on the different VR experiences and actually hear from the people who have been behind creating them about the approach that they took. And then what I'm really excited about is how we're then moving to how destinations are becoming content first. We have, for example, Kontiki sharing how they've completely transformed their whole approach to build a sort of a newsroom within their team and the approach that they've taken to that. And then at the end, we have this massive shift towards short-form content, which we heard quite a bit about yesterday from the likes of Jeremy, from Emil, from Facebook, about the importance of having really, really relevant, impactful content which actually engages people. And here we're going to have a mix of creators and brands talking about how they've approached this and showing and discussing the work. So it's a very different format. It's sort of getting away with most of the keynotes and focusing on really good content. And then on the second day, we have a huge number of workshops being planned. We have photo walks where you can go out with creators and see a city through their eyes, understand what it is that they actually look for when they scout out locations and when they create content. We have one-day creative workshops for those who really want to get hands-on and understand how to go out and create content. Some of the sort of things we saw there, like the Snapchat workshop, will evolve into that. We also have a fantastic lineup of partner workshops, and we have a new set of design and strategy workshops. So here's just a look at what some of the design and strategy workshops will be covering. Everything from real-time content, how to go live as a GMO, to building a leading creative team. We have a great focus on how to craft successful content for the Chinese market, and lots of other fascinating topics as part of that. What's key here is those workshops are small workshops where you as a participant actually get hands-on and you start designing ideas and solutions in the workshop. And so they are being designed really, really closely with that in mind. And our partner workshops, we have a couple more to announce in December. But we're really proud to actually work with a few really good partners on designing the partner workshops. Innovation Lab are putting together a really interesting workshop on how to actually get underneath the trends and actually embrace it and plan to work around that. They focus on new technology and how to get the most out of it. We're working with Falcon Social on, I think many of you are actually working with Falcon. We're actually going deep with Falcon on what content success looks like and how to actually get the most out of distribution. And also with Visualize on how to design a story in VR. So I know a lot of you are doing VR, but how many of you are really working through that kind of process of designing that experience hands-on with the companies or agencies you're working with? And we've got really great pricing, I think, for all of that learning. It's a lot of knowledge that you can take away from that. So when you go back to the office, you should be able to really, really implement and work on those different things. The standard DMO pricing is $895, and for our subscribers, we have nearly 50% discount, so it's a really great price at $495. So I hope that all of our subscribers will be there, and if you haven't, maybe that's an incentive to sign up as well. So moving on to our Launchpad, as I said, it's something we've been working on in a huge way. Here's a look at our new trend section. As you can see, we have every trend there. We've even added Pokemon Go. So we have a list of who's doing what on Pokemon Go and what approach they've taken. And this is something that continues to evolve. This is something that is built by you guys. We actually get a lot of requests for things that aren't in there still. And every time a DMO says to us, I would like to learn about this, or I'd like to see who is doing that, we go out and we find it and we bring it in. So only recently, one of the destinations was telling us they would love to know about business intelligence tools and how destinations are using those. So that's something we're currently working on. It's really an evolving picture. And what I really love about it is actually a big collaboration between Ramona, who looks after all of our research, and Rob, who looks after all of our creative work. They've really come together to build it out so it's also very visually accessible. Because I know as marketeers, you're not researchers, you're marketeers. You want to be able to quickly find information and use it. So in each header, we have a video which runs through the key trends and how to use them very, very quickly. And we also have for every trend an infographic, so you can get a quick snapshot at how to get the most out of that. So if you're looking at virtual reality, here we give you a quick overview of 3 different ways to approach virtual reality, and then into the case studies. So it's designed to be usable and accessible at that top level. We have lots of great case studies. We film interviews everywhere we go, and we also arrange interviews specifically on topics that we think are interesting. And we go really in-depth. So we usually try and get 2 or 3 different perspectives from different team members, and we try and understand what the whole process behind their work has been. And we have now more than 40 case studies, and that's something which builds out every month. We generally do approximately 1 case study a month, so it's a constantly evolving picture. In terms of talks, we have a huge number of talks. We now have, by the end of January, we will have 120 talks within the platform. That's keynotes, that's experts, that's people who have spoken at many of the different things that we're doing. And I know a lot of you, maybe your colleagues aren't able to be here today, so all of that content sits within the platform. So lots to dig into there. One of the really exciting things that we're launching right now, and we've assigned a champion, is Emma in the room? Where's Emma? Somewhere, yeah, over there somewhere. So Emma, our expert, has been assigned as our Slack champion. We've built a Slack team for the subscribers. So all the destinations can connect with each other, share their knowledge, exchange their ideas, and talk one-to-one on a whole series of threads. And over the next year, this is really going to evolve. We've got some really specific ways in which we're going to run things within that. We also have a live chat. And I know a lot of you have been asking questions on the chat, even yesterday. What can I do tonight? How do I get there? Which hotel should I be staying in? Can you give me directions here and there? So we've been trying to help all of you. I hope you'll agree our response time is generally pretty good. Sometimes, like during an event, we might get a little bit preoccupied. But you know, we try to practice what we preach. So there's no use going to an industry conference and telling a whole set of hotels, for example, that they should think about messaging and how to engage people. We have to also do it ourselves. We do get a lot of requests from destinations, a lot of requests from DMOs that are not subscribers. And sometimes with a small team, it's hard to handle. So what we've actually said is we will honor those requests for all of our subscribers. So if you say to us that you would like some insight, or you'd like a recommendation, or you'd like us to quickly look at something and give you an opinion, if you're a subscriber of ours, we will really help out. I mean, we love you guys. You're part of helping us build up what we have. And so we're providing you micro-consulting directly within the site. And it's a very advanced chat for someone else to deal with it. It's not like those horrible live chats which pop up. So what I'm really excited about is the biggest thing we're launching for 2017, which is templates. Now, you might have had a chance to have a look at our Stairway to Transformation. I'm going to explain to you a bit more about what that's really all about now. We realized from doing so much with destinations that structure is probably the biggest thing which is most often missing, and it's the most useful thing that will help you get the direction that you need. So we've built a template for a DMO calendar throughout the year, learning and understanding what destinations do every month at every stage during the year, and helping you to be more productive, helping you to be more focused, helping you to get the right structure to do the different things that you need to do at different times in the year. So at the start of the year, it's all color-coded, by the way. So at the start of the year, we have this pink block. That's a 5-day sprint. And here we've designed a 5-day sprint of different things that you should be doing with different people in your team to help them get the year off to a really great start. Later on in June, we have a different sprint, which we know that a lot of you have your own little creative retreats as teams. So in June, we design a creative sprint. So you have 5 days of really, really creative, productive input. You have all the structure that you can go out and do that. And then at the end of the year, we focus on measurements. When you wrap up and you look at what you've been doing, everything kind of comes together and you have all the support to do that. Within that, every item, and I should say, because we had some destinations saying, I don't think I can do everything on the calendar. I don't think I'm ready to subscribe. It's only a template. And actually, sometimes, well, from January, we're going to now allow our experts to go in and help onboard you guys to get the most out of it and design a custom calendar that works for you. So this is just a great example of the sort of content which is fitting within that. We're building packages. So matched with all those great case studies, matched with our insights on trends, we have then a series of templates which support you with that process. Right now, we've built out a whole set of templates for a tool called Mural, and we're actually recommending to people use Mural. It's a subscription, it's not very expensive, but you can plug these templates in directly into that. But you can also put these within your office as giant wall charts and really use them. So this is a template which helps you plan an always-on calendar, working week by week to identify which stories you want to hone in on. This is an example of a going live plan. So we did one for this event where we looked at all the channels and how we were going to use them, who we were going to activate. It's good to be prepared and not just go into live streaming without a plan. Here we've got a kind of stage process to mobile UX and journey planning. We have a social lab, which is helping you understand and evaluate the merits and pitfalls of all the different channels. We have a new technology R&D template. So it's something we're recommending 4 times a year, that you take one day and you'll get a whole team to brainstorm together on the merits of a new technology. So that might be looking at drones and how to get the most out of drones, and then sharing that. And that is something that we're going to build into our Slack community and then augment that to get all the destinations to share their own R&D with each other. So that's something that's really exciting. We have stuff on leadership, how to go above the line and adopt conscious leadership, and how to review your site and go through all those different things. So lots and lots of templates in there. There's loads more, and that's another thing that just continues to evolve. So that's the Launchpad. I know a lot of you asked questions, so we thought we would just be very transparent and share with you what the pricing is. So it's a very simplified pricing now. For the entire organization, it's just 3,750 euros. That lets your whole DMO get access to the Launchpad. So I think you'll agree that that's actually really affordable for a lot of content which sits within that. Now, moving on to transformation, how does that actually translate when we work with our experts? We have developed a benchmark survey, a transformation report, and a blueprint calendar. And this translates to a very continuous flow in how we work with destinations one-to-one, starting with a needs assessment and bringing them through to resource mapping. And we use a lot of that knowledge and content that we pull out from the Launchpad. And a lot of you ask, how do we work with our experts? So we've simplified that explanation here for you. Our experts work as facilitators. They help you get the most out of all this content. They also work as your extended team. So a lot of destinations say, I want someone who can really, really get, really great results with social or with always-on content and help us build that resource out within our team. And they can do that on a remote basis, and they can do that throughout the year. And then the last one is campus leaders, which I'm going to explain to you in just a minute. And this is the sort of request that we get. Sometimes it's helping them bridge that relationship with their agency. Sometimes it's giving creative direction. Sometimes it's externally auditing. And sometimes that's helping them disrupt and change their current workflow. So that leads me to the last point, which is introducing campus. I'm really excited because campus is something new that we're launching this year. We've already got a couple of destinations who have actually asked us to run year-round sort of training programs. And we have a program which helps you to do that. And this is, if you like, an extension of Content Campus, but where we go into a destination and we really, really help with that knowledge. It's about getting both the DMO and the industry to work together. It's about getting experts to facilitate knowledge and thought leadership. It's across 5 modules that takes place over 12 months. We have all the resources that I've just shown. It's community-driven and it's practical. And these are the 5 modules: transformation, strategy, content, social, and performance. So this is something, again, that has evolved from us doing this again and again and again. And we've built this structure to really guide you through all the key different modules that every destination should be helping both themselves and their industry to tackle and get through. And part of that is also bringing all that knowledge. So with each campus, we bring a Slack team, we bring global mentors that come in virtually, and we bring coursework. We have lots of practical material for people to work through within that as well. So that is the update from the DTTT. I think you'll agree that's a pretty exciting set of activities in the pipeline. I hope you will all be joining us over the next 12 months. And I hope you'll agree that everything that you have been supporting us to do from day one has now come full form and stitches together in a really beautiful way. And the last point is that collaboration is beautiful. Collaboration is the secret to success. Working together, sharing insights together, and sharing knowledge with each other. So thank you very much, and let's get on with the next speaker. So